Opening up a portal to another dimension is almost exclusively a bad idea, right? No matter what you will learn from the denizens of another civilization, there's no guarantee that it'll even be applicable in our own world, right? The laws of reality governing their experience might tear us apart, or maybe when we bring it back, it'll crumble under the physics that underpin our existence. Plus, there's always the chance of releasing a dangerous, bloodthirsty monster into our lives. A dangerous gamble at best and a foolhardy suicide mission at worst. But hey, people are gonna keep trying, and random rifts are gonna keep appearing. Best to just roll with what happens, right? Let's see what the dimensions have to offer. Hello horror heads, and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host Keegan Hughes, and today we are adding another 5 extra dimensional entities to our list of the top 5 scary SCP monsters from another dimension. Part 3. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more intense intergalactic exploits. Outstanding. Let's get going. Kicking us off at number 5, we have SCP-1562. While not a monster by definition, largely because it isn't alive, this innocent looking playground feature has terrible side effects that honestly give me chills. Claustrophobes, look away. 1562 is a metal playground slide originally placed in a pretty ordinary playground. A few kids in the area went missing and the Foundation looked into it and found out that the slide was to blame. Currently, all testing has been suspended. After experimenting a couple times, it became crystal clear that sending people down the metal incline would only result in more misery and loss of resources. The slide functions normally most of the time, as slides should. You can climb up the ladder, take a seat at the top, and propel yourself towards the bottom for hours of classic playground fun. But if you're a little daredevil and prefer to take the bull by the horns, you'll likely activate the anomalous effect. Anyone who slides down headfirst on their stomach with their arms tucked in at their sides will disappear instantly and completely before they reach the end. Nobody knows where they went or how to get them back, although communication is possible. To this point, retrieval, not so much. Any sort of safety line attached to those daring slide surfers will be cut upon their disappearance. The destination of those who disappear seems to be in another dimension. This might be tolerable if not for the position they find themselves in. Remember how the subjects were on their stomachs with their arms at their side? Well, they remain in that position, but inside of a cramped dirt and rock tunnel. It's like spelunking, but without a helmet or lights, or a map, or any guarantee at all that you'll be able to make it back to where you came from. Subjects have had trouble getting their arms free from their sides, and the only method of movement is through desperate wriggling. And if you wriggle far enough, you'll bump into the feet of the last person to go down the slide. They'll be stuck in the tunnel ahead of you. At that point, forward motion becomes impossible, and you're pooched. With your arms at your side, in a dark, cramped tunnel, in another dimension. And then you get to listen to the last thing the person ahead of you said before dying. I don't mean to sound like a helicopter parent here, but please keep your feet in front of you while using the slide. Coming in at number 4, we've got SCP-112. Your reaction to this SCP may vary depending on your feelings about roller coasters. If you love the thrill of hurtling through the air in a metal cart, then this might not be so bad. But if you're a person who prefers not to be thrown through a full loop-de-loop, then 112 will ruin you. Known as the Blue Steel Surfer, the sit-down roller coaster was a financial failure based on poor reviews from testers. The park was shut down, and the coaster remained unused until some hooligans broke in and reactivated some of the rides. It was at this point that the anomalous properties were made very apparent. The ride will function normally until the car reaches the main drop. At that point, it'll disappear for 3 minutes and then rematerialize near the end of the loop. An extra-dimensional roller coaster. Wicked. Like I mentioned earlier, people riding 112 have drastically different experiences though. Speaking of drastic differences, the outside observer will also witness something very different than what's actually going on. Once the car vanishes, those on board will realize that the ride time is massively extended, ranging from 4 minutes to many months. Those riding will report many features that do not exist on the ride, like bat wings, cobra rolls, and inclined loops. The world itself doesn't feel different, but the ride experience is very changed. Once getting off, they might feel sick or confused based on their subjective experience. Someone who is on for a perceived time of a month might feel extremely hungry and weak, even though the experience was really only 3 minutes. Whatever someone experiences while on this ride is completely unique to them. This proves to be highly distressing to those who end up with longer ride times, as they experience long periods of dizziness, exhaustion, and headaches, all while the person beside them is cheering and laughing and having a good time. So again, if you get lucky and find yourself on a 4-minute ride with a couple extra loops, you'll have a blast. If you're not so fortunate, you could end up being subjected to G-force for 5 months straight. I'd hate roller coasters too if that happened to me. Coming in at number 3, we've got SCP-1483. While the mass of land that constitutes 1483 isn't a monster itself, it is home to many strange and odd creatures that would scare the ever-loving crap out of you if you ran into one. If you find a specific crevasse in the Queen Alexandra mountain range, you'll be able to pass into this alternate Antarctica. Notable differences include a lack of land ice, a climate that fluctuates between 35 degrees Celsius and negative 35 degrees Celsius, and a species of humanoids known as Homo antarcticus. There appears to be a complex government presiding over this alternate reality, with technology, infrastructure, and other markers of a modern society all being present. Most interesting is the fact that anomalous items and entities are common knowledge here, and the folks presiding over the land have given Foundation personnel limited range in which to study them. There's even a Foundation type organization called the Imperial Institute of Paranatural and Esoteric Study. They've collected and organized many anomalous things and beings over the years and have allowed the Foundation to take a look as well. Some of the notable entities include the remains of a giant unknown organism known as the Sanak Thea, an organized school of occult practice, 2 highly specialized humanoid species that rule the land during different seasons, extremely tall multi-limbed creatures that seem to be gods of some sort, and little aggressive buggers known as feastlings. It's an odd alternate world, but they seem to be doing alright. I'm not sure if I want to discover more about the strange beasts that live among the humanoids or just maybe leave it be. Like I always say, some questions are better left unanswered. Coming in at number 2, we've got SCP-262. This is a coat hypothesized to be a prototype military uniform at some point between 1500 and the early 1900s. Carbon dating has been inconclusive, although it appears that the wool used to create it is thousands of years old, even if the coat itself was assembled recently. 262 is full of arms. Like, it can manifest numerous arms through the dark inner lining. Not just human ones either, although most are indeed people-based. There have been manifestations of reptilian tentacles, multi-jointed cellulose limbs, the clawed paw of a predatory cat, and even every once in a while some feet and legs too. The space within the coat appears to be non-Euclidean, and if you were to drop it over a person, they'd disappear into the void within, kind of like, like Ramona Flowers' purse. In fact, it almost seems like the coat is collecting arms. Many arms from test subjects and mannequins have been seen protruding from the coat at times. The limbs can be manipulated by folks wearing the coat to varying degrees of success. Tests have included playing piano, defending against multiple attackers, and smoking and extinguishing cigarettes. And of course, the coat has attempted to use some test subject bodies to escape. It's proven to be pretty useful in doing so as well, using all sorts of arms to make its way through security. Now, would the space inside the coat be considered a pocket dimension? Is it collecting limbs to form some sort of army? It's time to move on. And finally at number 1 we have SCP-517. This fortune-telling machine is hiding a pretty dark secret. Although most people are pretty wary of things at this point, considering all the pop culture attention they get. How many movies and TV shows have featured one of these cursing someone? Well, 517 is a big box containing a grandmotherly figure. The power cord has been cut and will not react if you fire a coin in the slot. But once an hour, the machine will power on if a person enters its field of vision. Grandmother will produce a fortune card from a slot on the machine and then shut down. The person who activated 517 is now the target of a bunch of shadowy entities that will attack at 1:43 AM the next morning. They appear to be long, multi-jointed arms spawning from a single place. These arms will then attempt to rush forward and capture the target. Once captured, the target will be dragged to a secluded area and brutally beaten until sunrise. Anyone who walks in on this will also be grabbed and thrashed. These beatings will continue until the victims are reduced to what I can only assume is a fleshy, bloody paste. The actual end state substance is redacted in the entry, probably for good reason. Nobody knows where these arms originate from or why they do this. However, Grandma's fortune cards may provide a little illumination. Here are some examples of text found on the cards. How many times should someone be told to be good? Your mother raised you better than that. I'm sorry, but fair is fair. People who do terrible things deserve terrible things. You've brought this upon yourself, my dear. You look like you've made some mistakes. Some things are unforgivable, aren't they? Do you think they've forgotten? Jeez, Grandma, I only stole one cookie. What have you done to earn a serious beatdown from Grandma? These things don't even need to wait around the corner for you because they've got whole other worlds to hide in. Which one scares you the most? How many extra dimensional creatures can there be? Are there any SCPs from other dimensions that you'd like to hear about? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more matronly ones from top 5 scary SCP monsters from another dimension, part 2. Kate Harvey says, just imagining this first SCP writing send nudes in the condensation. I think the only appropriate response to that is you first, just to make sure we've got the anatomy right. Iridon says, I used to be an SCP monster and then I took a bullet to the tentacle. And to come back to this dimension, awesome work Keegan, you rock. Anything is better than taking an arrow to the knee, plus you've got like 100 tentacles, I'm sure you can manage. Thanks for the support though. Blair S says, LMAO, I want to punch a shark with you. You bring the shark, I'll bring the knuckle dusters. It'll be a party. Zarek Hilliard says, aggressive fruit noises. I don't know what an aggressive fruit sounds like. Can somebody educate me on this? And Wes Tesh says, I wonder if we as humans are considered SCP to other dimensions. How dangerous or beneficial are we to them, especially when our only real power is near infinite ideas and or imagination? My theory is that we're definitely considered anomalous to beings from other dimensions. Either anomalously dangerous or anomalously annoying. Either way, they've made the executive decision to leave us the hell alone. Smart call on their part. And that's all the time we have for today. Before I start tap dancing in a minefield, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more mystifying monsters. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. The slide functions normally. I got hair on my mouth. Chris, is that your hair? Until the cart reaches the main drop. Maybe I'll do a little roller coaster action there. Who knows? In the meantime, while we wait for this train, I'll work on my my pointing at the camera. Hey.